Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AIM Impact on Your Health. AIM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AIM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AIM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course, where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today, folks, well, I've really been looking forward to pulling this one off. About a month ago, I reported to you we were going to do something new here in Western Pennsylvania. I said it was going to be a one-of-a-kind experience to try to cure cataracts. Well, 1 month has passed. A whole lot has been learned, and today we're going to spend the time bringing the entire message to you in one show. I hope we pull this off all right. Of course, we can't start a discussion of this nature without somebody sitting at the helm, a professional eye doctor, and Dr. Lisa Bowen is going to be our first guest today, and we're going to talk to her about this cataract clinic experience that she just went through with me literally a week ago. Then about half past the hour, we're going to have a chance to talk to some of the people who are actually in that group and did improve and really in many cases turned around their cataract situation in almost an unbelievable fashion. I think this is a platinum show of all times. I think the work that we've done has been monumental, and I think it's nothing but good things from here on out and into the future. And of course, I will keep you apprised as things move on with each and every up-and-coming additional group. So sit back, enjoy the ride. If you have cataracts or if you know somebody that has them, give them a call right now. Tell them to dial us up at 6:20 a.m. on the dial and listen to Lisa and Dan and Donna talk about their experience with the first cataract clinic of Western Pennsylvania. Now, let's take a look at the schedule real quick. Friday, we'll probably have a chance to comment on today's show. Today's going to be action-packed. Next Monday, we're going to have a gentleman by the name of Dr. David Lober. He is a physician and medical doctor who's trained in functional medicine, and he's going to talk to you about a appearance he's going to make at the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy group that's going to be held next Thursday. Now, that is the second Thursday of the month, not the third. We're going to be returning to the Oakmont venue. By the way, I read this morning the Holton Bridge is going to be closed on, you got it, the 11th. I'll get you more information on that, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to take the regular way to get there if you're used to crossing that Holton Bridge. But we'll have Dr. Lober on our show on Monday to talk about what he's going to talk about to the group of you up there at the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy group. Next week is the big week, the return to Oakmont after spending just one meeting up there at Butler. They're now back at the normal venue. Then on the 10th, folks, a little out of sequence for her because you know her as the first Wednesday of the month gal. Of course, I'm talking about Dr. Baba Boom herself. Dr. Susan Smith-Jones will be our guest on the 10th, next Wednesday. The following week after that, you're going to have an enjoyable morning with Dr. David Minkoff. He's a medical doctor whose clinic is in Clearwater, Florida, and he has an emphasis on his practice of treating Lyme's disease. And he takes it very personal, and he doesn't give up. And I've come to really respect how well and how good of a job he actually does in treating Lyme's disease. And so you enjoy hearing from who I call the gunslinger himself, Dr. David Minkoff, who will be our guest next, actually 2 Wednesdays, not next, but the following Wednesday after that. So in terms of a guest for the month, that's pretty much the way it is as it's scheduled right now. Some other things to bring your attention. Another eye program, folks. After today's show, you might be interested in learning more about the eye programs as we're going to be offering them. The next opportunity The benefit from a eye program is going to be on the 22nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. A 4-day swing there, treating both the retinal diseases and cataracts in the same week. And we've been looking forward to give you the results on what happens to that bunch as that unfolds. I'm actually expecting to have results over and above what we have already had, but you'll be the first to hear about them. Our next eye program is going to be held June 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Way into the future, for those of you that go, oh, I can't make it, I'm letting you know that the July program, the eye treatment program, is going to be July 6, 7, 8, and 9, and I don't have one tracked out to August yet, but with the 2 I already have on the schedule, you should be able to do just fine. I make an appearance at something called Strabane Trails Village. It's going to be at 2:30 on the 30th. It's an afternoon talking about eye issues. If you want to come to a free seminar, I'll be giving you more information about how to participate with the Strabane group there on the 30th of the month, the last day of the month. And what else? Oh, vitamin C kits. I'm getting a lot of email from you, from individuals who want to be able to purchase that kit, which contains a year's supply of vitamin C in a powdered form that you'll mix with lecithin to make a liposomal form of vitamin C that's non-corn derived, and per dose, literally pennies per dose. And let it go at that for now. All right, let's move on and get into it, folks. Waiting in the wings, I hope, is our very good friend and clinician who has helped me tremendously guide through the use of the various programs we offer to treat eye diseases. Her name is Dr. Lisa Bowen, and she'll set the tone today for the first Western Pennsylvania Cataract Clinic, which she was an integral part of. We're going to take a break right now and come back with Dr. Lisa Bowen. You don't want to miss it, folks. Be right back.
You become confused.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on a Wednesday morning version of the show, and really looking forward to having this show take place. A lot went on in the background to bring us to this point today, but I'm very proud to allow you, my listeners, to sort of learn along with us what we all gained in the way of knowledge in treating eye diseases, in particular cataract formations, in this most recent first cataract clinic, which we held a week ago. Now, if you're talking about eye issues, you just got to have an eye doctor to help sort of navigate the waters here and a professional that will be able to objectively assess what's going on. We're very lucky and fortunate to have a young lady with us who's an eye professional and jumped in about 2 years ago and has followed us ever since and has been so helpful, allowing me to track the progress of many patients over these 2 years, and now a whole new group of patients that we'll be talking about today, the cataract patient. Her name is Dr. Lisa Bowen. She's with it on the board with us right now. Let's say good morning, Lisa, and thanks for allowing me to invade your Wednesday morning.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here today.
Well, Lisa, it's been a wonderful journey that we've had over the last couple of years. I was telling you off air that for our listeners, it would do us well to take a journey back to July of 2013. If I can set the stage for this, Lisa, I remember approaching you and said, look, Dr. Bowen, I've got this eye program that I'm going to be offering. These are 3-day programs. Would you mind participating? And you thought about it for a moment. You said, oh, no, I'd really like to participate. You said, what is it that we're going to do? I said, well, I'm going to bring all these patients to you on the first day of the program, and I want you to really assess them as best you can. And then they're going to come back to my office, and they're going to be there for 3 days. And then I'm going to have them all come back to you again in 3 days to do it all over again. Now, you looked at me and said, Dr. Courtney, why would you have them come back 3 days later? I said, Dr. Bowen, I know this is going to seem a little odd, but I fully expect that we're going to have a major impact on their serious eye diseases in 3 days. And if you could have seen the eye roll that you gave me at that moment,
I believe it.
I've never forgotten it. Nonetheless, it was our start. How fantastic did it seem to you back then in 2013? Because you've come a long way with these programs, but even the thought of how I approached you originally, to me, sounds like a pie in the sky. Who in the heck would ever think about correcting eye diseases in 3 days? How did that sound to you, Lisa?
Oh, absolutely. It sounded like something, completely alien. I mean, through all your medical training, you don't, especially the diseases that we're talking about, the macular degeneration, the glaucoma, we learn conventional treatments and we learn, how to manage them. We never talk about reversal of these conditions, which is what you were coming to me with.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, and you know this from the beginning, I was always skeptical. But skepticism, I think, is not a bad thing as long as you're willing to have an open mind to it. And that's where I think you kind of took me to say, you know what, you have to be open to other treatments, especially when we're talking about diseases that don't really have good treatments. So that's why I think this program is so exciting, and that's why I think, and now with the cataract, I'm so happy that I had the open mind and I might have done some eye rolling, but I've definitely seen it, and I am impressed every time we have another protocol come through. It's amazing to me.
Well, so that we can sort of sweep up on the 2 years of experience we've had, could you please, and I don't think I've ever asked you this to put it in a succinct way, but over those 2 years, you've seen tens of patients, maybe 30 or 40 patients, that maybe even a little more, and you've watched them come through with these very serious diseases with the back of the eye, the retina, and you've become a big fan. In fact, I got to tell you, Lisa, you've lost your skepticism. You are as big of a fan as I am, watching patients on the first day that they come in to see you, anticipating on their behalf for what could change for them in 3 days. And I always like to see that we meet the mark. And we've been able to do so in a high number of patients over these 2 years, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing. And I love to see the difference in the patients, not only in their vision, but their attitude from day 1 to day 3, how they come in and they're just beaming. They're so happy. They're amazed. Again, like I said, we're dealing with diseases that patients are at their last. By the time they get to you and I, they feel like they've exhausted every other possibility and they feel like they have nowhere else to turn. And so when they come in and we make an improvement, they are just, it's amazing. It's such a huge impact on their life, which is awesome to be a part of.
Well, it certainly is great from my perspective, as equally as your perspective, and how we're able to help them in such a short period of time. I'd say this, however, as good as we have done, and we have done a yeoman's job, thanks to Dr. Edward Condrat, the program he put together some 14 years ago with the retinal diseases. In this very serious set of diseases, has been a way for the majority, vast majority, well into the 80 to 90% of people to get turned around and start to move in an improvement to their eye condition. As good as we've done with them, I'd have to say, and I'm asking you to comment on it, how poorly we've done with treating cataracts over the same 2 years. Wouldn't you say it's been a little bit of a letdown?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and usually that's the secondary problem. At least, I mean, we've had a couple patients that were primary cataracts, but you know, most of these patients that are coming through have cataracts, and you're right, we really haven't seen a huge improvement, which it is disappointing. I mean, that's certainly something that we would like to see improve as well, and that's why I think this new treatment and the new protocol is so exciting.
Well, yes, I felt very much pressure was on. I saw that we weren't doing as well with cataracts. Patients were getting frustrated. We didn't know there was another way of handling this. And then, of course, I get exposed in my travels to some eye doctors who've been using some approaches countrywide and getting some very good results. So once again, I come to Dr. Bowen. I said, Dr. Bowen, hey, I want to do a new program specifically for cataracts. And the only difference from your perspective is that instead of seeing him 3 days later, after evaluating him on the first day, I'm going to ask you to see him 4 days later. And we want to find out how well they're going to do with this 4-day program. Now, I didn't really see eye rolling. I got to tell you, Lisa, at least you gave me the benefit of the doubt on this one. It wasn't like the 2-year ago conversation, but you were mildly enthusiastic, having seen what you saw with the retinal diseases. You said, you know what, I'll just bet you he may have something here. So tell me and share it with my listeners, what did you feel like when I said what I thought I was going to do?
Right. Oh, I was excited. Once I saw the retinal issues, I mean, retinal issues are definitely a more significant problem. And when we're talking about cataracts, you know, the retinal problems can cause much more devastating loss of vision. And like we said, there's not a whole lot of treatment. The cataract, I mean, that is 90% of my older patients have cataracts. I mean, we see these in all of patients. So it's so nice to have a program that's going to open up something to way more patients that, you know, want alternatives. At this point, the only treatment we have is surgery, which obviously works, and we've talked about before, but, you know, some patients want to have a different way to go, and there wasn't anything to offer them. So this is very exciting for me. I think this is something that appeals, you know, and will affect many, many more patients versus the macular degeneration and the glaucoma that we've been treating in the past. So I think this is great, and I'm very, very excited about this program.
So there we were. We both agreed, okay, let's give it a try. We really didn't know for sure what the results are going to be, but that's sort of how we've played it since day one. So I bring to you, we had 4 patients in the program. 3 of them were specifically cataract patients. And you want to briefly describe what you saw and give our listeners the best impression about, on day one, what you were up against, and sort of set the stage for what you'd be looking for on day 4.
Absolutely. When the patients came in, you know, we got some history, talked to the patients, see where they were. I checked all of their vision, both uncorrected, and then I also did a refraction, so to see where I could get their vision best corrected. I think that's really important, just so we're ruling out, okay, did that patient just need glasses, you know, things like that. So from my end, I always want to make sure that we cover all the bases and make sure that we've, you know, exhausted every possibility of could we improve this patient's vision. After we did that, then I dilated them and viewed the cataract. And 2 of the patients had, you know, what we call nuclear sclerosis, or just an aging change of the cataract where the lens becomes thicker and yellow. One patient was significantly worse, and I worked with her in the past in her one eye, significant vision problems in her left eye from the cataract. Another patient had a different type of cataract, It's called a posterior subcapsular cataract, and essentially that looks kind of like Swiss cheese on the back of the lens. And he was the one I think that I was most impressed with, because I actually saw on day 1 versus day 4 not only an improvement in the vision, which all of our patients achieved, which was impressive in itself, but he actually, when I dilated his eye and looked at the cataract, I actually saw a difference or a reversal or regression of the cataract itself. And that is what really blew me away. Again, I'm thrilled with all of the patients. The one patient that I was speaking of that had a much bigger cataract in her left eye, her vision improved so significantly. Had she come to see me on day 1 as a new patient, I would have immediately sent her for cataract surgery. But by day 4, she was correctable to 20/25 vision, which is fantastic. So, and I think you and I had the conversation how impressed I was that cataract I really didn't think we were going to have a big impact on. I mean, it was such a dense cataract. And even though I didn't necessarily look at her lens and notice a giant change in the appearance of the lens, her vision was significantly better. So that definitely tells us that the procedure is working, and we're getting the results that we're looking for, which for me is so exciting. And the patients are thrilled. I mean, they can't be happier.
Well, I think we set a little bit of a ground rule that when patients who you saw 4 days prior came back to you to be seen after 4 days of a pretty aggressive program, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., that I had one request of you, which was, Dr. Bowen, just let them know, if there was any changes, because I think there's one question that looms out there very large for these 3 patients, and that question is, can I avoid that surgery?
Right.
Because there are many people, I'm told, that actually look forward to this kind of surgery. For whatever reason that is, I guess they've heard how successful the surgery can be. But there is a wide swath of people who do not want a surgery, and any kind of evidence that might support that that's possible, I believe, was a fair question to put to you as an eye doctor. Can they avoid the surgery? So Here we were on day 4, and boy, I felt like a proud father whenever you were able to assess all 3 of them. And if I gathered the general response is that to answer that question, I believe it was a resounding yes, that their improvements were
one of them, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, were so substantial. And I think you said that, and I agreed with you, and when I talked to other eye doctors across the country, they were very much surprised that the person that you felt did the best was the person that you felt would do the least best, because her cataract was so advanced. Tell us about why it is that surprised you so much.
Absolutely. The longer that you wait to have a cataract taken out, the thicker it gets, and the more dense it becomes, and the more yellow it becomes, and obviously the more it will affect the vision. So this patient had definitely significant, I mean, if she didn't wear glasses, essentially she would have been legally blind in that eye. And then when we see her day 4 and her vision is all the way to 20/25, which is almost perfect vision, that is significant. That cataract was so large that I didn't think, especially after 4 days. Now, maybe after several months, I would have maybe accepted it a little bit more easily. To see a dense cataract like that improve in 4 days is just amazing. I mean, these other patients that we saw had just, I would call, beginning cataracts, early cataracts. And obviously, we're still very excited about that when they improve a line or 2 of letters. But when you have such a dense cataract like that, we're trained the only way that we can do anything about that is surgery. So when you see this treatment that's working on such a big cataract, that's opening up doors for a lot of patients. I mean, we've worked with patients in the past that are legally blind because of their cataracts, and they're terrified of cataract surgery. And they're literally walking around debilitated. And now, if this treatment is going to help those patients with significant cataract changes, I mean, this is huge, not only for us, obviously, but these patients, it's going to be a whole new life for them, which is so exciting.
Now, I've instructed these patients, and I think I've let you know that when we finished day 4 of this program, we brought these patients back to you. We answered the question in every one of their cases that with the progress that they made in 4 days, they absolutely, positively should and could avoid that surgery. But we're yet to complete where we're going to end up with these patients. And aren't you very excited to find out where this finally is going to take us? Where we're going to be maybe 4 months from now?
I can't wait to see these patients. I've told them I want to see them all back. I want to see where their progression. If we've had such an enormous change in 4 days, I can't imagine after them continuing the treatment. What I'm hoping to see is an actual complete reversal. I mean, that would be the most exciting thing to see. And I'm very excited to track these patients and see where they end up. I think the good thing, and I really like working with you, you tell your patients, and, we don't know. We don't know where this is. We're not promising something that, we think is going to happen. We hope these things are going to happen. That's, I think, I really, and your patients, I'm sure, appreciate it. But, this is all uncharted water. And we're both, kind of learning as we go. And the patients are helping us along. But, this is, I can only imagine that things are going to get better and better over time. And that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing with these patients.
Well, the groundwork was laid by many others before me that utilized some specific electronic devices, and they were getting some good responses. But I think universally now, as I've spoken to them to let them know what happened with our 3 patients, they are very much maybe confused is a word, or they're excited on the one hand, but the patient that did so well with a very well-developed cataract, I believe she's been described by the doctors that I talked to as the like the poster child for how successful this program can really be, because they never thought at all that a well-developed cataract could be even touched by these programs. And it turns out she was not only touched, she was completely improved. And that one, even they've stopped to ponder a little bit on how could it be that that woman did so well when we've never had a patient do that. And I think that's a fair report, that all the attention that they've been paying to this, they've never had any impact on that kind of an advanced cataract. And there we are having that ability to do that. So this one really opened the eyes up, so to speak, of even the clinicians who've been having some success reversing cataracts countrywide, but none of them. And by the way, I should say, and I don't mean this in any way demeaning, but Dr. Edward Condrut himself has really asked, how the heck did you do that? And I've coached Ed on what I believe to be the real keys to the success of these 3 patients, and we'll have another 3 and another 3 and another 3 as time moves on. So we're going to come back 6 months from now and say how well these 3 patients did, but there'll be many, many more that allows this story to unfold. And I'm as excited as you are about the whole doggone thing, and look forward to our next group of patients, which will be here in the 22nd to the 25th. We're going to do it all again, aren't we?
I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Well, I'm going to say to you, thank you so much for being a part of the program. I could never have pulled this off. You got to have an eye professional. You are just a consummate professional, and you've been able to help me in a way that I could never help myself. I need your set of eyes to look at my sets of eyes, and so far so good. And I just think it's nothing but we're going to be looking up and beyond to get even better results than we have right now. And it's going to be exciting. 2015 is going to be a very exciting year, Lisa.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Thank you for allowing me to invade your morning this morning. And I want to say to you, best to wish us both a lot of luck for the up-and-coming patients that we're going to see. And I'm really anxious to see how well these 3 do 4 months from now. And I promise listeners to have a report back to you on all of their progress, because I don't believe it's being done anywhere else in the country except here in Western Pennsylvania. Go figure. Thank you, Lisa, very much.
Thank you, Dr. Courtney.
Okay, there you have it, folks. Dr. Lisa Bowen, our eye doctor professional who makes this program all happen with her vigilance and her, and I will say, a healthy dose of skepticism, we've arrived where we've arrived, and she's as excited as I am about the up and coming possibilities for future patients. And I would say that that those folks countrywide that are getting benefit by using certain electronic devices, when I looked at how I could improve upon this, I decided that I was going to put an entire program together, which is, I look at the list right now, there are 8 components of my 4-day eye protocol, 8 of them. And I believe all 8 of these played a role in allowing us to just surpass any of the previous results that other doctors got, and took us to a new place with a group of patients we never thought we were going to have the opportunity to improve. So as time moves on, I'll explain about the 8 different components of the program. Today, we're just going to sit back and enjoy the benefits of the 4-day program. And we've got 2 patients coming up that were part of the 3 patients that Dr. Lisa Bowen was talking a moment ago. And we hope to have one of them coming here in about the next 3 or 4 minutes. And his name, well, we don't need his name. We'll just tell you he's a gentleman who was, he had posterior cataract with a major change. And then we're going to have the young lady who had that major change with had the very advanced cataract. These are the 2 people to round out the show that I hope we're going to be able to present to you. And I hope things work very smoothly. We'll give it a try. So let's do this. Let's take a short break. In the interim, let's see if we can get the gentleman to come on in here first and have him tell you how he thinks things went last week here in my office. Look forward to having him with you when we return. Yeah, here we go.
I'm driving right now.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today, having a rerun or a rehash or a relook at the events that took place in my office just a little over a week ago. We've been working with a group of cataract patients to see how well they could fare with a protocol designed to help remove those cataracts. I am completely honest with you when I tell you I wasn't quite sure how this would turn out, but I'm extremely pleased that it has worked out for the few people who have been involved with this program up till now, and I'm very much looking forward to helping future patients get equally, if not even better results than the patients to date. Now, we're fortunate enough today to have one of the original participants with us who was nice enough to come aboard today and allow us to have him report to you how things went here in my office. Let's say good morning to Dan. Dan, thank you for giving us a call so we could share your experience with everybody listening today.
Well, good morning, Doc.
All right. Now, you know, when we first met, we met in an office visit that I had with you. And when you told me that you had cataracts, and I mentioned we had a special program to eradicate them, that you were going to be the first participant of it. I'd never run the program before. What was it about that intrigued you enough? You didn't hesitate, Dan. You said, sign me up. I want to be involved. Could I ask you now why you trusted me so much to be able to allow me to do that?
Well, I listen to you on the radio as I'm traveling. I drive truck, and it sounded like the protocol that Dr. Palmjohn had was getting success, and you were working with him, and I didn't want to get the surgery because a lot of times the surgery doesn't completely cure your cataract. You have other complications, and I had two friends that actually their eyes got worse after the surgery, and I was a little hesitant.
I can certainly understand why the word hesitant would apply here. I just can't for the life of me think of a person who really looks forward to that surgery, but there are some out there. Most people are tepid at best for confronting such a surgery, and when you've had two friends who, and I remember you talking about them saying that it was the worst day of their lives whenever they had that surgery, one takes heed from their misfortune and tries to change the outlook for themselves, and you certainly took the opportunity to do that. Now, when you were here in my office for over those 4 days, how did you think that the experience was for the 4 days you were here? Could you tell? Did you know things were improving for you? Hey, did the evaluation just catch you completely off guard at day 4, or did you have an inkling that things were working out in your behalf?
I didn't have any inclination. I still was seeing foggy out of my left eye, and Dr. Lisa started a cataract forming in my right eye. Now, my vision since the 4th day in my right eye has really cleared up and improved a lot. But my left eye is still a little foggy, but the cataracts take a long time to form, and I'm still on the protocol. And I'm going to rent the machine, and I figure it's going to take a while for it to recede. Hopefully, it'll do so, and I'll be back in your office in a few months to take a look at it.
Yeah, now I can recall whenever you were on the 4th day, we went to see Dr. Lisa Bowen, and as you came into her office to have her take a look at you, if I can reenact what happened, she sat down in the examination chair. She looked into your eye, and then she said, I think it went something like, hey, look, could I please ask you if I could dilate your eye? And I didn't know why she made that request, and I didn't know why she was saying it in such a dramatic way, like, I'm seeing something here. I can't believe what I'm seeing. So she walked out, or she dilated your eye. You left for a few minutes, came back, and then she began to describe why it was that she asked to dilate your eye. And as best I can reconstruct it, Dan, she said, you sat down in the chair, and I knew you had a very large cataract in the back of your lens. And when you sat down, I could not see any evidence that you had any cataract there. I couldn't believe my own eyes, so she said. And so I needed to dilate you to make certain I could see every aspect of the lens to see, am I right or am I wrong? As it turns out, she was right, and there was only a small amount of cataract that was still left in the superior part of the back of your lens. And so you had a visually, a objectively and visually noticeable removal of your cataract in 4 days, so much so that the eye doctor herself couldn't believe what she saw. That was a pretty amazing experience for me sitting in the room, and had to be pretty amazing for you as a patient being described that way, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, she took me off guard when she did that, and she explained that she couldn't see it at first unless she dilated it, and she says usually she can see it. So that was pretty surprising that it had been, dissipating in 4 days like that. And it was nice to hear that.
Oh, it's so odd to think that it could happen. And I know she never anticipating that she would have such a visual confirmation Now, one thing is your vision improved, and that's great. But to have objective, quantifiable evidence that your vision should improve, that's the part that I believe is catching Dr. Lisa off guard, as well as any other doctors across the country that are utilizing these technologies and these programs. So I think, Dan, you have a very healthy outlook on where we need to go from here. If I hear you right, and I know I prompted you to think this way, you're just the beginning of getting this thing turned around. And I'm not going to be happy, and you're not going to be happy, unless as time moves on, we can completely erase that cataract. And I'm going to tell you here and now, Dan, it's going to happen. Do you believe it?
Oh, yeah. I see in my right eye already that the vision has improved, and I could read 2 lines extra on the eye chart the 4th day. So it improved significantly.
Well, I'm going to ask you, and first of all, I want to thank you for here you're out working, you're driving the truck, and you're doing so very safely, I'm sure. But I'm going to ask you, 4 months from now, I want you to come back, and I want you to report back to my listeners how well you've done over and above where you already are. You said the one eye is fairly cleared up, the other one still a little cloudy. Let's work on getting them both up to top notch and visually not having any cataract at all, I believe is the goal I'm shooting for and that you're shooting for too. So Dan, I want you to have a great 4 months at it and come on back 4 months from now and let's talk about it again.
Okay, Doc, thanks for having me on, and I appreciate you helping me out. I see much better already.
Oh, it's so nice for you to say that, Dan, and you're now famous, Dan. You were in the original group and you didn't hesitate. You jumped right into it. And I just had to ask, what was it that I said that made you believe in me so much? And I'm happy to see that it worked out for you. So we'll be spending a lot of time with one another in the up and coming days to months. And I'll bring you back and you can tell my listeners about it then. All right?
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. There you have it, folks. Dan was our fellow with the posterior cataract that Dr. Lisa Bowen said, I can't see it. Where is it? I'm going to have to dilate this, man. It shocked me. It shocked him. And it certainly retells the story in a pretty dramatic way. In 4 days, a cataract was reduced to a mere pittance of what it was 4 days prior. All right. Let's take another short break and get to the next one of our patients, the one we've been talking about with such a major change in a well-developed cataract. So I'm going to quickly take another break and get with our next individual that she can tell you how well she fared over these 4 days from her perspective. Be right back in a moment with her. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. We're here on a Wednesday morning, very special morning. We're reviewing with you, the listener, how successful we have been with the first cataract clinic ever to be held in Western Pennsylvania. And we've had the benefit of talking to the eye doctor who was a part of it, and as well as participants who got this benefit over that 4-day program. Now, our next guest was the young lady we have been talking about with Dr. Bowen earlier, who had such the advanced cataract that we really didn't know what was going to happen with her. We're so happy to hear that things have worked out. But I want you to meet her now, and we're going to call her Donna and say good morning, Donna, and thanks for coming aboard today.
Good morning, doctor. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Donna, you're a little special of a case because you, having had a well-developed cataract, participated in an Ed Condrot 3-day program quite a while ago. How long has it been, Donna, since you were in that first 3-day program?
Oh, it's probably, I'd be guessing, doctor, but maybe 3 months or so.
Okay. And you entered that program with the intention of trying to deal with your cataract. And it's always an iffy thing, at least the way we had constructed these programs in the past. Some people with cataracts did well, others did not. And unfortunately, you did not do very well with that 3-day program. You were very disappointed. And elaborate a little bit on that disappointment, because you wanted to be able to get back to your normal vision, and you just didn't see that happening for you, did you?
No. Excuse me. I've always been into holistic medicine and was very true to it. And I thought cataract surgery was a very simple thing because so many of my friends had it, and my mother had it, and everybody was very pleased with the results. I am also nearsighted, more so in my left eye where the cataract is. I have a smaller cataract in the right eye. But I didn't want to have surgery because I went to 2 ophthalmologists who said that the rays that you see at night will not completely go away, and that's what bothered me the most when I would do night driving. Mm-hmm. So I was interested in a different program and was hoping that 3-day program would work for me. It didn't work, but I wasn't going to give up.
No,
I stuck with you and told you that, called you and told you about my disappointment, and you said, have faith, I'm going to try something new. And I was more than willing to do that. So that's how I got to the 4-day program.
Well, you were certainly accurate. You did not give up. You didn't give up on me. You didn't give up on yourself. At the time, these were things that were happening to you that weren't too pleasant. I really didn't know what I was going to do next, but lo and behold, a certain approach to treating cataracts passed my desk, and I became aware of it. And that's when I made the announcement that we were going to have a special way of dealing with cataracts, and you were on it. I mean, you just jumped and said, I want to be in that first group. Could you please make sure that I be in the first group? And I got to tell you, Donna, there was never any way that you weren't going to be in that first group, okay? But as things go, the deck was sort of stacked against you, Donna, because you had a very well-developed cataract. And it would have been my initial impression, I think it still is today, that when we do deal with these cataracts, we have other doctors who've said, well, a mild cataract is something we can change, but we can't really change these major ones. And I'll be doggone it if you didn't bust the whole set of rules that had been previously laid down, and you, with a major and advanced cataract, got the best turnaround of anybody in the group. And on a long-term basis, how does it feel for Dr. Lisa Bowen, to say to you, on day 1, I would have sent you for that surgery because I knew that there wasn't anything else for you to do. But on day 4, you've made such a turnaround. Your vision has improved so much. There's no way that you should have that surgery done at this point. And we're just going to get nothing but better from here. How do you think about it? What do you think about that?
Doctor, it's not all senior citizen. It's not every senior citizen that gets to be a poster child.
That's so true. Although you physically don't appear to be a senior citizen, I got to tell my listeners, I know you very well. You have a youthful glow about you, and your cataract picture just doesn't match up to your physical appearance, because aged people get cataracts, I guess, but not young people, and you certainly are young, at least.
Thank you, doctor. But I am excited about this, and I have to say, of course, I'm not. Dr. Lisa got to see the results with the eye chart and looking in my eye, but the only thing that I noticed, or the one thing that I noticed after that 4-day treatment, I was walking my dog. Now my right eye can see distance. I kind of have monovision.
Mm-hmm.
My right eye sees distance, and my left eye I usually read with that eye. I've had monovision for years. So I'm walking my dogs, and I'm looking around, and I thought it must be a really clear day today, because the trees look greener, and we have a lot of tile roofs in my area, and the roofs of the houses look brighter. And that was what I noticed.
That was your first clue that something had happened. Things just looked clearer and brighter and had more color than they ever had before. And that was your test.
In Technicolor.
And you were seeing in Technicolor, absolutely. Now, you, as well as Dan, who we just had on the show a moment ago, have now picked up the gauntlet, and you and Dan both realize that you've got your work cut out for you now, that if you can pursue a program as you've been taught the program, we expect you to do nothing but even bigger and greater things from this day forward. And 4 months from now, we'd like to be saying that you're no longer the poster child for, you're no longer the poster child for a person that has advanced cataracts and a person who had such improvement. You no longer have a cataract. Would that be acceptable to you if we could take it that 4 months from now?
That is my goal, and I promise to stick with you.
Well, I truly know that those are very accurate words, because you stuck with me up to now. I'm glad that you didn't give up on me. I'm glad that science came in and tapped me on the shoulder and allowed me to put some things together that no one else had, including our good friend Dr. Ed Condrat, who, by the way, is very more than just mildly interested in you, Donna. He's been told about you, and he knows as an ophthalmologist, your story just has never happened before. So you are the poster child for how well things can work. I'm happy for you. I look forward to having you completely win this thing over the next up and coming months. And I won't give up on you either. How about that?
That's great, doctor. Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming aboard this morning and spending some time with us and allowing our listeners to hear you speak about yourself. And now that you're seeing in vivid Technicolor, we want to get to high definition Technicolor by the next time we talk, okay?
That's great. Thank you so much, doctor. It was my pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much too, Donna. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right. Folks, there you have it. I can't believe, by the way, we pulled this off. Everything went just fine. Lisa was there. Dan was there. Now Donna was there. And so be ready, because I intend to get put a disc together and have all the highlights of the last few shows I've done with the issue of cataracts and the Contract program and this 4-day program, so that if you or any one of your friends or acquaintances have eye diseases, you'll want to get a copy of this disc as soon as I put it together, and I promise to have it put together within the next couple of weeks. And this is the platinum show that you'll be hearing about so much. Go to today, after we get off the air today, this show is going to be found on the YouTube. Just go to djcmd.com. On the opening page, click on the icon marked Archives and scroll to June 3rd, and there it will be. And for you to be able to listen to that anytime today you want, feel free to go to it and have people that you know who may be suffering from eye issues go to it also, no matter where they may be. I'm going to say to you that the next group, which will be coming through this office on the 22nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, are going to be comprised of an equally unique set of individuals who are going to have their own stories to tell. They're going to have the discouragement of years of advancement in their eye disease, and hopefully they're going to be able to see in a very similar fashion to the patients that were with us today in our last program, that we're going to be able to repeat this over and over and over again. So I want to thank you for being one of my listeners, of course, and if it should ever come to be that I can help you with not only eye problems, but any medical issue for which no one else seems to be able to work in the right combination of things on your behalf, we'll certainly try to come up with an answer for your issue too. Okay, it's time to say goodbye today. I'm going to look forward to seeing you on Friday. We'll open up phones on Friday. There will be a get 'em up out of time version of the show, but you may want to call in on Friday to talk about your eye issues. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney saying so long for AM Impact on Your Health.